Iris? You are once again locked in your room and haven't come out yet today. What are you doing in there? You are far too old now to be locked in your room like that all day, so quit it.
Good morning, Joanna. I'm not sure how many times I've told you this already, but I do my work from home. So can you stop trying to accuse me of being locked in my room all day and understand what I've been telling you?
I understand that you want to tell me you work remotely, but I've never heard of anyone your age working from home like you say you are before.
What does that mean?
Well, people your age always go to work every day and do so by car or by bus. And you guys are all used to being at work so that you can communicate with everyone in person since you all don't know how to use phones or computers very well. And you guys are also always willing to work overtime and then like to come home really late at night after everyone else has already eaten dinner, right? So you really expect me to believe that someone who's so used to working like that is now able to work from home all of a sudden? Aren't you a bit embarrassed to be saying something like that to me? I get that you want to feel young, but come on. How would you even be able to work from home anyway, when that job of yours isn't even a big deal?
Well, Joanna, you should also be able to understand that not everyone from my generation is the same, and that means that some of us actually like to work from our computers and phones instead of having to commute to work every day.
Yeah, this conversation has gone on far too long now, so let's end it here. I really hate having to talk to the elderly for long periods of time, so if you don't want me to hate you, stop talking already.
Joanna.
Also tonight, I'll be taking Kyle with me back to my parents' house.
Huh? Again?
I've been kind enough to live with you here in your house for a long time, so it should be all right for me to go to my parents' house every so often, right?
You're the one being kind enough? Living here with me?
I am! Your second oldest son and his wife are living overseas right now, and since they can't be here to pay for you, we've had to step in and live with you as your support.
Huh?
And so what I'm saying is that you have no right questioning me about going back to my parents' house for a little bit with Kyle, because we're the ones supporting you.
I never questioned you going back to their house, though.
Are you sure? Well, if you weren't, then stop talking to me already and let me leave in peace.
Mom, I'm sorry. I'm sure that you've already heard this from Joanna, but...
Right, I just heard that from her not too long ago. Listen, are you sure it's not causing you too much stress to always have to go over there to see her parents again and again? At this point, it's been every week now that you both go back to her parents' house.
Right. I've asked her about what's been going on as well, but I think she's gotten the wrong idea when I asked her about it. Well, I'm not sure what she's thought about it, but to me it seems she feels nothing by me questioning her.
Well, if they're not that upset with you both always going over there or with what's going on here, then I guess we don't have to worry either. But if you have something more to say about all of this, then you should tell her right to her face, without trying to beat around the bush.
Something more to say?
You've always had to go to her parents' house every single week, and by this point you haven't had a chance to relax because of it, right? And when it comes to how busy your life is, you just had to leave that company because it went bankrupt and are now back out looking for work again. There's way too much going on in your life now for you to have to be going to their house every week, wasting away time you could be spending on yourself. I'm sure that you don't want to say anything else to Joanna about this because you feel that it might hurt her feelings. But if you keep holding back your own feelings like that, you're going to explode one day.
You make a good point. You've had to deal with a lot of things like this in your day, so I think listening to what you've had to say is the best option for me. I'll take a moment to think all I want to do, though, and then make my move.
Joanna, could it be that This weekend, you're going to your parents' house once again?
Yep. And not just back to their house, but this time we're going on vacation.
You're all going on vacation?
It'll be me, my parents, and also Kyle and his family going on a sightseeing trip.
Is that so? All of the family, then?
What's wrong?
Nothing is wrong with that. It's just that I have work to get done, so, you know.
Here we go again with this. Trying to make it seem as though you're actually doing work in that room of yours when you're too old to even operate a computer.
Mom, I'm so sorry about that. Can you please show me to another job?
Hi, Kyle? This is really out of nowhere. What you're saying is that the company I showed you to try and land you a job will no longer be taking you?
Well, about that, they allowed me to get all the way to the last interview before telling me that they no longer had the position open. Well, don't worry about it now. I just need you to help me find another company that you can show me to, and I don't care what kind of work it is. Please.
Well, if you want my help again, then you're first going to have to talk with your wife about this.
I don't think I want her knowing about any of this, so please just help me.
Are you sure? Then let me go and talk with one of my friends who runs a cafe and see if she'd be willing to hire you. You know where to go if she wants an interview, right?
I'm assuming this is your friend with the old-fashioned cafe just to the right of the library?
That's the one. Come meet me there in an hour or so that you can talk with her.
Will do. Mom, I'm so sorry that I had to ask you for all of that so quickly.
Don't worry about it. It helped me that you came and talked to her when I went.
Well, about that, hearing that there were already plans being put in place, even before I went there, really shocked me.
Well, ever since your dad passed away, there have been plans of having you go there for a very long time. I had been wanting to talk with you about it for a while now, but after his death, time just began to slip away from me, and I never got around to talking with you.
I see. I guess back in the day when I had lost my first job and came running back to live with you guys, you had already been trying to plan new options for me so that I had a chance at finding work again. But I'm glad that you guys did all of that for me because it's helped me out a lot with trying to find work. That works for me, so I'm thankful, Mom.
That's great to hear from you. I'm also glad that you don't mind that we went ahead and planned a lot of things out for you. Just in case you needed the help.
Well, listen. I was not going to go down a path that Joanna wanted me going down, so I'm happy that you guys were always there for me.
Iris, I would like for us all to start thinking about Kyle and I moving out of this house.
Well, this is something I never expected from you.
Well, can you listen to what I have to say? Kyle has found himself a new job and everything, so I don't have to worry about our lives anymore. But having to stay in a house with a grandma that doesn't have a job of her own is the least attractive life, and I don't want to live it. And so because of that, I'm going to be taking Kyle with me. And we're going to go and live with my parents at their house where they're at least getting Social Security.
So then what's going to happen with me once you guys move out of this house?
Well, hold on one second. I actually plan on having you leave the house now.
You want me to leave the house now? Me?
That's right. My parents' house is too small for all of us to live together comfortably there, so I'm going to take over your house and have them move in with us. And you'll only be in the way of that if you stay, so leave.
Does this mean that you plan to have your parents come to my house to live here and want me to leave?
I just said that, right?
Then what am I going to do once I'm tossed out of my own house?
Well, let's think about that. You mean nothing to us anymore, so we'll just have you sent to the cheapest old person's home we can find and leave you there.
Well, I don't have any issues with myself that require someone to watch over me, though.
Huh?
I have made sure to prepare myself for a future where I don't have to ask my kids or anyone else to take care of me. So you don't have to be worried about sending me to any old person's home.
Oh, well, is that so? Seems that both you and I are starting to be on the same page for once, finally. Well, now that I don't even have to pay for you to go to an old person's home, I'll consider myself lucky.
And as for the $4,000 that I've been giving you and your husband every month, I'm going to stop doing that, okay?
Huh?
I'm sure that from now on your parents will be willing to pay for your guys' living expenses every month, right? I'm finally going to get some weight off my back for a change.
Huh? What the heck are you going on about? It's been both Kyle and I that have been the ones taking care of you and all your needs. So what makes you believe that I'm going to believe that you've been giving us $4,000 a month?
I see. So you never knew a thing about what I've been doing then, huh?
Huh? You're the one that has no clue about the things we've been doing for you. You thinking that you've been giving us $4,000 a month is a load of crap, Iris. Are you starting to lose your mind or something with age now? Well, you told us you no longer need our help, or anyone's help for that matter, so don't come crying to us now.
Then let me ask you this. Did you know that the only reason I allowed you to come and live in this house with me is because your husband, Kyle, lost his job after the company went bankrupt, and he agreed to only stay here until he saved up enough money to move back out? And that this whole time he's been working different jobs and such, you've just sat around doing nothing as his supposed housewife? You should be aware of all of that already, right? Even though Kyle has had a few jobs since you both moved in with me, he's lost them as well and hasn't saved up much of anything. So how could you both be paying to support me as well as yourselves when you are both unemployed?
I just assumed that he's been using up the money he was given when that last company fell apart, as well as any savings he had from when he was younger to support us all.
I understand that he got a pretty decent amount of money when everyone was laid off after the company fell, and he's had some money from when he was single still in his savings, but all of that has been used up.
Huh? Then who's been paying for us all to live here?
Well, the only other person that's been living in the house has been me. And yes, I've been the one paying for you guys. And I haven't only been paying for you guys, but also that $1,000 you send your parents every month as well, since you get that money from me.
Huh? That's definitely a lie. You are just a lost cause of an elderly woman that never leaves her room.
I've made it clear many times now that I do all the work I have to do from home, yet you've chosen to never believe what I've been saying. So if you're still not going to believe what I'm saying, how about you go have a chat with Kyle about all of this? I'm sure that he'll let you know about everything that's been going on with all of us.
Kyle? Has all the money that we've been living off of each month and all the money that we've been giving my parents all been coming from your mother? And when I say money, I'm talking about the $4,000 she talked about. What the hell is your mother doing to gain that kind of money every month?
Well, my mom works from home helping manage a company that works in making all different styles of dresses.
What? Dresses?
Also, she happens to make a lot of money from the houses she rents out.
Huh? She rents out houses as well?
Well, back when my dad was around, he worked in the real estate business and happened to have a lot of properties that he'd buy and then sell. But when he passed away, a lot of those properties that he had were given to my mom, and she chose to furnish them up and rent them out to all sorts of different clients.
Are you kidding me?
So that's why when you ask for mom to leave this house to allow your parents to move in with us, you'll be getting rid of the one person that's been paying for the place. In other words, we'll have to start paying rent.
What rent?
Well, my mom is the owner of the house still, and she's not just going to let us all live in here for free when she goes. And from what I've learned, based off where this house is located, we'll have to pay around $1,500 a month to rent this place.
What?
Whose house did you think this was?
I guess I never thought about all of it that much.
What the heck is up with that? Well, I guess it doesn't matter anymore now. I have some things I'd like to talk with you about as well now.
Huh? What do you want to talk about?
You and I are divorced now.
What? What the actual hell are you talking about? Why would you say something like that to me?
A while back, you threatened to divorce me if I ever said anything about you always wanting to go back to your parents' house and such. And along with those threats, you prepared some divorce paperwork to make sure that I knew you were serious. And since I finally started to question what you've been doing, I decided it was time I handed in those papers for you to the city office.
What the hell did you do that for? If you do really plan to leave me for good, then I'm going to get some money out of you.
You married me without ever telling me about the debt you're in right now.
Huh?
That $1,000 a month you say you've been giving to your parents has actually been going towards paying off said debt.
Huh?
And to try and keep me from ever figuring that one out, you went and had the money sent to your parents and then had them use that money to pay off your debt. That way, I would just think that the money was going to your parents to use and not to some loan shark that you're trying to run from.
Huh. Why do you know about all of that?
I figured this all out when we went on vacation. We were all staying at that hotel you asked for me to hand over that $1,000 to your parents in person, so that I didn't even have to bother sending it to their supposed bank account. However, after handing you my wallet to get the cash out to give to them, I went outside the room saying that I was going to buy a drink. But really, as the door was about to close, I heard you say something about some debt. And so I kept my ears pressed against the door and heard you all talking about how you wanted them to send that to the loan shark that night.
You heard me say that to them? You were still outside the door?
I was, and I heard everything, clear as day. And that's why things are the way they are now.
Listening in on our private conversation is messed up.
And your reason for being in debt with a loan shark in the first place is pretty messed up to me.
Huh? You knew about all of that as well?
You apparently cheated on me with another man while we were dating. And when his wife found out, she made you pay a settlement out of court, right?
Why do you know about all of that stuff as well? I actually hate that you found out about what happened back then.
This is what you get for being a whore when we dated. After learning about all of that crap, I no longer want to apologize for looking into all this behind your back. So think whatever you want about me, but know that I'm not the one who's going to suffer for their bad decisions.
That was all in the past, though. Can't you please forgive me for all of that?
Of course all of that happened when you and I were only dating, so there's not much I can do about it now that we're married. But you hiding all your debt from me before we got married and then using my mom's money to pay said debt off is another thing.
Well, even if you don't like that I used her money to pay off my debt, I don't have any money of my own, so I had to use hers.
Well, normally when someone has debt that they want to keep a secret and pay off, they will get a job of their own and pay with their own money, right?
Huh? You think I should work?
I never actually thought that you were brain dead to the point you thought everyone else should be working besides yourself.
Kyle?
After this, I'd like you to talk with my lawyer about any other things you might have to say. Also, I was able to find myself a new job, and I'll be moving closer to that job soon.
Huh?
I'll be working for a cafe that is owned by one of my mom's friends, and will help me get back on my own feet and back to making money. I'm not going to tell you where the place is, but I'll say that it's very, very far away from the current town we live in.
But if you go and leave me here all by myself, then what am I going to do to survive? I still have a lot of money that I need to pay. How am I going to pay all of that off?
Don't ask your ex-husband a question like that, you freak.
Huh?
Now, I can see that if I continue talking to you, the same things will have to be said over and over again. So I'd like to end our conversation here. And as for what my mom wants me to say to you, you have until the end of the month to stay in that house. But once the month is over, you need to get lost.
Huh? Hold on a second. My parents are expecting to come and live in this house with us soon, so they've gone and ended their lease and everything to move here. If we're not able to live here any longer, we're not going to have a house to go back to. I'm being serious when I ask you what I should be doing right now. Hey, Kyle. Can you at least stay together with me until I'm able to pay off all that debt? Kyle! What is this? Kyle? Listen to me. What is going on right now over here? Everything that was in this house, like those beds and the dinner table from overseas and the shelves and the chairs and even the fridge and oven. The dishware and everything. It's all gone now. I was thinking that I could at least start selling a lot of that furniture and stuff to start paying off more of my debt, but now it's all gone and I don't know where to find it all. Come back here and save me, Kyle.
For some reason, it seems that Joanna never even noticed that both Kyle and I had left the house and were no longer coming back there before she got home. She then proceeded to stand outside the house screaming at the top of her lungs that I stole all of her things, and that I should be punished for it, but nobody seemed to care. Since she was no longer married to my son anymore, I finally went ahead and gave him $6,000 that was left over from the money I received after his father died, and only did so then so that Joanna couldn't take any of it. Anyway, now that there is no house for Joanna to go home to, and there's no money coming from Kyle in the divorce, the only thing she's left with is her remaining debt. She tried to go back to the new house that her parents started to rent, but when she arrived asking them to let her move in, she turned around to see two men that the loan shark had sent after her. They grabbed her by both her arms and took her away in their blacked-out truck. As of right now, she's working for that loan shark to make back every penny that she borrowed from him, and she will not be able to leave his side until it's all paid off. Kyle made the right choice divorcing her when he did, because had he not, he might have ended up right next to her, working long and degrading days just to pay for her mistakes.
Hey, Riley, this is Marcia. You have a bit of time? What the hell are you trying to prove exactly?
Oh, hey there, Marcia. Didn't expect to hear from you. Wow, it's been a while since we last talked, huh? What are you up to?
Like I said, I'm asking you what you're trying to prove.
I have no idea what you're talking about. What do you mean, what am I up? Did I do something wrong?
Where the hell are you right now anyways?
I'm in my own apartment. Why do you ask? And what's it to you anyway?
Who are you there with?
Pardon me? Why do you want to know where I am? Oh, wait a second. I see where this is going. Oh, well, I was just gonna borrow him for a while and get a little nibble before you found out. So, you know, huh? No use denying it then. You caught me in the act. I'm with your fiancé, Jim. What can I say?
So, you steal my fiancé 1 week before the wedding. Your romantic entanglement is revealed, but you still retain this who gives a shit attitude? You're really something, Marcia.
That sounds like a compliment.
I'm headed over to your apartment right now, just so you know.
You're coming over here? Now, why would you go and do that?
Oh, I forgot to mention, and your folks are with me, too.
Hold it. Back up a second, would you? Are you serious? My folks, what are they doing here? On, what's the big deal? You're blowing it all out of proportion. You're my childhood friend. I later learned that Jim's the next president of the company, so I just want to get a taste of it. That's all.
That's going to be one expensive little snack then, because I'm going to have you guys pay compensation for this.
Wait, what? I can't believe I'm hearing this. You're going to sue us for money?
Yes, that's right. And the wedding that was ultimately canceled? Yeah, you guys are paying for all that too. Every penny.
Are you serious, Marcia? I mean, suing you, old friend? Come on. What is this?
You wanted to have a little taste of my fiance, right? I just want you to pay for the little flavor test, that's all. You even have the chance to experience the consequences of your actions, so I really hope it was all worth it.
Back up a bit, Marcia. You're planning to get money out of me? You do know I'm not super rich or anything, right?
It doesn't matter if you're engaged or married, you can still claim damages. That's what I intend to do.
Are you for real? How can you do that to a dear friend?
Like I told you yesterday, my lawyer will handle the rest of the legal stuff, so he'll be contacting you about the details. Don't even think about running away, Riley. It'll just make things worse for you.
Hey, Marcia, you there? If you are, I need to talk. So come on, pick up! I've thought long and hard about this, and I don't want to nullify our engagement. I still want to marry you. I do love you, you know that.
Is that you, Jim? I thought you were long gone from my life. What do you want? And do you realize what time it is? It's 2 a.m. for God's sake.
I said I want to marry you, Marcia. I mean it this time.
It's a bit late for that, don't you think? You should have thought about it long and hard like months ago. I thought we agreed. The engagement and wedding has been terminated. We all agreed through our lawyers, didn't we? We contacted all our friends and relatives about this regrettable incident. Get it through your thick head, Jim. Just call it a day and let's go our separate ways.
I wasn't myself. It was just some knee-jerk reaction, that's all. Give me another chance. You know Riley, right? She's glamorous and sexy, very hard to resist.
On top of that, she's your childhood friend. So, you know, it was all so sudden and irresistible. I was getting married in a week. I just wanted one last taste before taking the plunge, nothing more. You know what, Jim? You sound like a total pervert.
Pervert? How could you say that about your fiancé?
Whose fiancé you're talking about? That ship left a long time ago.
Like I said, I just wanted to try a different flavor. You can understand that, right? I mean, I'm still young.
Like ice cream, huh? How many flavors did you want to try? You guys were in and out of that motel for the past 3 months. That's a whole lot of flavors to enjoy. You must have tried all 31 flavors twice over.
Come on, Marcia, please give me another chance, would ya? Like I said, trying out another...
You're really starting to sound totally pathetic, Jim. All I want from you is for you to pay what's owed, and after that you can have all the ice cream you want.
I don't want ice cream, Marcia. I want you. Please, Marcia.
Hey, Marcia, I finished depositing the money your lawyer demanded. You really left me broke, you know that? I can't believe you. Do you realize that all my savings, it's gone? Not a cent left in my name for your information. I had to borrow some money from a neighbor to get tomorrow's wedding. This is all your fault. You better be ready to introduce me to some of Jim's rich buddies. I'm counting on you. I'm going to get totally decked out for tomorrow's wedding. Drop dead gorgeous. That's me. I'm not kidding, Marcia. You better make up for this. Marcia, what the hell is going on here? Pick up, for God's sake. Come on, answer me, would you? What's taking you so long, for God's sake? I just got here to the wedding hall and this place is empty. Where are all the guests? The place looks like it's closed. Where the hell is everyone?
Wait a second. Wedding hall? What are you talking about?
The ceremony starts at 2 p.m., right? Shouldn't there be people arriving? I was expecting cars up and down the driveway. What's up with this, Marcia? The place is not only empty, nobody is even getting things ready. What's going on here? Is this even the right place? I just asked the girl at the reception desk and she tells me that there are no weddings scheduled for today. Is this some kind of joke? You're pulling a prank on me, right? Well, it isn't funny at all, Marcia. I got the invitation from you and it clearly indicates this hotel. It even has the address on the back. You sent this to me.
Riley? Are you okay? I can't believe you're even there.
Oh, I get it. I get what you're trying to do. That's it. Don't tell me that you guys changed the venue at the last minute. Why didn't you say something? You could have texted me at least. Everyone's over there, right? Leaving me here all alone. You sure pulled a fast one on me, Marcia. How could you? How could you trick your old school chum? Bet you guys are laughing your asses off over there at wherever you guys are. Just because I had a little taste of your precious fiancé, don't be so resentful. This is how you treat an old friend, is that it?
That wedding was canceled, like last week. Didn't you get the notice?
Pardon me? You're pulling my leg, right?
I don't get why you think I'm resentful. I'm way past that. And this is no prank or joke. I wouldn't do that. Do you really think I was gonna marry a guy that cheated on me 1 week before the wedding? Are you serious? You may think all this is trivial, but I couldn't live with it. Just couldn't. I mean, when is he gonna have a craving for ice cream down the line, right?
What's ice cream gonna do with anything? Anyway, are you saying that you're not gonna marry Jim?
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Are you nuts? I came all the way here today. I was all ready to meet all his rich friends today. What a total disaster. This is not happening. Why did you even cancel so late in the game? You're really something, Marcia. You've really done it this time. Why did I even pay that money to you? What do I get out of it now? I thought I could get it all back after you introduced me to a super rich guy. A guy that would sweep me off my feet. And he's gonna pay for this new dress, for my hair and jewelry. Not to mention transportation costs. I'm broke as it is. You're paying for it all. You do realize that, don't you?
Are you finished, for God's sake? I was getting worried you weren't going to stop. Just shut up and listen for a second, would you? I sent out letters to everyone that the wedding has been canceled. I did it right after I found out about you two. I made sure I sent you one. After all, you two were the reason I canceled this wedding.
Are you serious? What's the matter with you, Marcia? You said the consequences of this was that I had to pay you off. And I did just that. So why cancel the wedding for Pete's sake? My paying you off should have put an end to it all, and you could have gone on with your life. And your wedding.
Yeah, that seems all well and good for all intents and purposes, but in reality...
Reality? What the hell are you saying?
Ever since we were kids, you were always impervious when it comes to people's feelings.
You're talking gibberish again, Marcia.
That money you paid was not only your admission of guilt, but also remittance for the emotional damage you caused. It's not only about the money, Riley. Can't you understand that?
Yeah, I understand.
And another thing, it also means you will never interact with me again.
Pardon me?
Of course. It's not as if all these rules are etched in stone. As a matter of fact, some people reconcile or are given another chance. Some make up and get married and live happily ever after. Sure, there are all kinds of folks, but that's only when the victim, that would be me, agrees, and only then. Simply put, as the victim, I have all the rights here. I'm the only one that can determine whether I forgive someone or not forgive, and whether there is a chance of reconciliation. I make that choice, not you.
I have a bit of say, don't I? I mean, think about it.
No, you have zero say, Riley. I have sole discretion in this. I'm sorry to be blunt, but you have absolutely zero say in any of this. My emotional pain may not subside for years to come because of what you did, but the money you paid lessens that pain. What I will not accept are people that betrayed me. I don't care if they are family or childhood friends. My dreams were shattered when you and Jim had your little romp. I had to start over again. You did this. Riley, I'm sorry to say this, but our friendship is over.
Right. Does that mean you and,
As long as you understand, that's all I want to know.
Yeah, alright, I understand. That's what you want to hear, right? But hold on a second. What you're saying, does that mean if I got back together with Jim, started dating him again, and maybe married him, you wouldn't interfere or care what happens, is what I'm hearing.
After all that, that's a response I get? Like I said, you really are something, Riley.
So what about it? Is that what you're saying? Give me a straight answer. No more of this pussyfooting around.
We haven't talked about that at all. We cut all ties. I don't want anything to do with him anymore. So yeah, do as you like. It doesn't concern me. You can keep him for all I care.
Oh my god, seriously? Thank you!
You are beyond redemption, Riley.
Hey, Marcia, are you sitting down? I think you should sit down before I continue. I've got something important to tell you. Are you ready for it? Me and Jim, we just got married. We tied the knot.
I thought we agreed not to contact each other. I don't need this now. Just go about your business, would you? Just leave me out of it. I'm done with you guys.
What can I say? I had to tell you this piece of fantastic news, Marcia. I'm super happy. My dream has come true, finally! My folks don't want anything to do with me, but I'm super happy and that's what matters, right? You're looking at the wife of the next company president. I finally made it! The life of a celeb awaits me. This is what I've always dreamed of. Glad you're sitting down, huh? I bet you're seething with envy right about now.
Right. I don't know how many times I've said this, but you really are something, Riley.
Why didn't you tell me that Jim was unemployed? He's out of a job. That means he has zero income. Did you know about this?
Last time you texted me, it sure didn't seem you're aware of it. I didn't think that was my place to tell you. Besides, I don't have anything to do with him. He's a total stranger, and so are you.
Are you saying you knew about this all this time? Are you serious?
Yeah, I guess I did. After I terminated the engagement, someone told me all about it. Apparently, the company found out he was making money on the side. He was apparently involved in some kind of double-dealing business with a foreign subsidiary. But there was never really any hard evidence to get him fired, but everyone knew what was going on, and that he was definitely involved. He continued going to the office in the same position, and all but evidently, he couldn't handle all the finger-pointing and accusations about his wrongdoing, and he ended up resigning. At least that was what was heard from his coworkers. His parents were furious and wanted nothing to do with him. After that, he apparently swindled them out of a fortune over the years too.
Why didn't you tell me this sooner? You could have at least texted me. Why'd you leave me in the dark about this?
I thought you knew all about it. After all, you married him.
You could have at least made sure I knew, for God's sake. I mean, didn't you think it was important? Something that maybe I should know about?
Don't you remember, Riley? We're no longer friends. We nicked that in the bud a long time ago. I have zero obligation to help you. Get that through your head.
We may no longer be friends, but we've known each other since we were kids. Doesn't that count for anything?
You still think we're like 5 years old or something? It was different then. We were just kids. We're adults now. At least I am. I can discern who's a true friend and who's not.
How could you say that, Marcia? When did you become so cold-hearted? You used to be so kind and such a nice person.
If you're so upset about all of this, then just divorce the guy. File a divorce application like I did and dump the guy.
He recently submitted some kind of application. They call it a non-acceptance of divorce or something or other. I couldn't understand the application form he brought home and showed me. Anyway, he made me sign the application and now I can't divorce him. What the hell am I supposed to do?
Yeah, sounds like something Jim would do. He's always been kind of sneaky like that. I'm afraid you're stuck with him, Riley.
Enough about him. We need to do something. Think of something, please. You owe me that much. I gotta get out of this mess.
I don't owe you anything, Riley. I think I'm ready to block you from my Line app. All my troubles would disappear if I toggle this little button. You know what? I think I'm gonna do it.
Come on, Marcia, please. Don't leave me like this. You have to help me.
Sorry, but gotta do it. There's nothing I can do for you. You dug yourself into this hole. Figure it out for yourself. Please, don't try to contact me ever again.
Please, Jim. I need you to accept my divorce. Please.
No way, you're not leaving me! You're stuck with me for eternity, my dear! Even my parents abandoned me. They wanted nothing to do with me. I also had to quit my job. All those accusations, like I was some kind of criminal. All the money I made for that company, and this is what I get in return? And most devastating, I lost Marcia, the love of my life. There will never be another woman like her. I loved her. I lost everything I cherished because of you, Riley. You came to me, begging me to marry you. You do remember that, don't you? You said you would do anything for me. You would not give up. That's why I relented and opened my arms to you, and now you want a divorce?
But what was I supposed to do? I didn't think you're unemployed. I was willing to do anything for you if I was to be the CEO's wife. That's all I wanted. What am I gonna do now? Do I have to work now? I have no skill. What am I gonna do? If I knew you had resigned, I would never have married you.
You really got nerve saying that to me. You said you loved me with all your heart. That's what you said. To hell with that. I already submitted those papers. You're mine now. You're not going anywhere. You're stuck with me for eternity. You're just an airhead, but you have the looks and body to bring in some real cash. I'm sure you're already at the nightclub I introduced you to. Be nice to the customers and they'll tip you big time, huh? And don't you dare think of running away. I know the owner. He's an old high school buddy of mine. Childhood friends, you can say. You don't want to get on his bad side. He was one bad dude back in school.
Do I really have to work here? Please, I'll do other work. Just not here. I don't feel safe here. That supermarket near our place was looking for cashiers.
Are you kidding me? That place is like $10 an hour. You could make 100 times that working there. Just swing your butt around and you'll snag a big fish and the tips will come rolling in. This is payback for ruining my life. You're gonna work till you drop, so stop blabbering nonsense and get to work!
Please, Jim, forgive me. Please, I can't do this. I beg of you.
Sometime later, I heard from a close friend that she sees Riley every now and again walking downtown, mostly at night. She seems to be with a different guy every time, and dressed sort of flashy. There are rumors that she's working at some kind of nightclub in the red light district of town. And these are her clients or something, not something I know much about. It all seemed so seedy that I really didn't want to hear the details, so I preferred not to ask. Everyone seemed sensitive toward me regarding this issue for obvious reasons. After all, most of my friends know the whole story. They were all invited to the wedding. They had met Jim on various occasions, so they try to avoid the subject as much as possible, at least when I'm around. When I'm not around, it's talked about all the time. Oh, well, people like to gossip, don't they? And it's kind of a juicy and irresistible topic, don't you agree? I have no idea what those two are up to now. But I did hear one little incident that happened some time back. Apparently she was so frustrated with their ever-accumulating debt that he had managed to build that she actually bit him. I mean, bit him like a dog would. That didn't go down well with him, as you can imagine, and he went totally berserk and totaled the apartment they were living at. Smashed a huge hole in the apartment wall. Some witness at the scene saw them taken away in a black van after that. I heard rumors about such a black van. They take care of problems like this. A bit mysterious. That's the last I heard about those two, and I hope I never hear about them again.